Here.
Ms. Wozniak?
Here.
Mr. Pepper?
Here.
Ms. Dickman?
Here.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Here.
Here.
Here. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from February 17th, 2021.
Moved.
Second. Comments, questions, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain.
Two of us. You weren't here.
I wasn't here.
Okay. First item of business is extension number 2 of Van Buren Consolidated Water District. We have before you a resolution that was prepared by the attorney in the matter of the establishment of that extension. Nadine, you want to speak to it? Sorry to open this
Oh, no, that's fine. Just a couple of quick things. This is just, it's a very, it's a pretty short extension. It's approximately 700 feet. It's for a vacant lot with the All Tech Industries. They're looking to include that parcel. Before the board would consider this resolution, I do have a short EAF that was provided to me or to our office by the applicant. And what I would do very briefly, if you don't need to go ahead, would be just to review part 2.
Go ahead.
Okay. Will the proposed action create material conflict with the adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No, too small. Okay. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of land use? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No.
Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area that doesn't even apply?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure? Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? Will the proposed action impact existing public water or private water supplies? Now, obviously, there's going to be an impact in that there is an extension of the district. However, there's nothing to indicate that the district can't accommodate or that the water supplies can't accommodate the extension that's been requested. No?
No.
Will the proposed action impact existing public or private wastewater treatment facilities? Will the proposed action impair the quality or character or quality of important historical, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources such as wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? And last but not least, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No. Just for your information, this would all be located within the public right of way, this extension of the waterway.
Yep, so there has been a petition presented to the town. Their engineer has provided the legal description, and there is information, there are a couple paragraphs within the resolution that address a negative declaration based upon the fact that there is no impact to be identified. And this resolution would also schedule a hearing on this for April 7th at 7 p.m.
Okay, having heard that, I'd entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Moved. Second.
Discussion?
Good to go.
There's been several water districts extended in the town over the course of the years, so this is nothing new. All Tech needs water, it's just a matter of extending the district. They're going to pay for the laying of the 700 feet of pipe, and they'll have their water. So, any other questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vandewater?
Yes.
Ms. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Ms. Dickman?
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Yes.
Ms. Saban?
Yes.
Mr. Sutton?
Yes.
Thank you. And that was Councilman Vandewater who made the motion, right?
Correct.
Okay, assessors report. You all have a copy of Teresa's report. It was in the box today. Teresa, you're up.
Yes, it's quite a detailed report for you this evening.
by request and for the benefit of our property owners that are watching on PAC-B. This is the January to March update. Sales analysis for residential, commercial, and vacant properties was completed for sales occurring from July 1 of 2019 through June 30th of 2020. This review indicated 8 residential neighborhoods with LOAs or level of assessments below 95%. All 8 will be reappraised for 2021. The review also indicated 9 residential neighborhoods with levels of assessment between 95% and 97%. All 9 will be trended up plus 3% for 2021. A limited number of commercial vacant properties will be reappraised as needed. All vacant land was reappraised last year for 2020. The equalization rate or level of assessment for 2021, would be approximately 93% if this work on the residential properties was not done. And that included a year's worth of sales, 2 years worth of sales, and 3 years worth of sales. All indicated that our level of assessment for residential properties would be approximately 93%.
Teresa?
Preliminary notices will be mailed to 3,600 property owners on March 12th, with informal meetings by phone, with the assessor scheduled to start on March 22nd. Please remember that preliminary notices are not tentative until May 1st. They indicate an opinion of market value as determined by the assessor, and this value is based on inventory and sales data. If property owners disagree with their opinion of value, they should supply facts to the assessor to justify a change in that value. And I forgot to put in there, people only get one phone informal. I missed that. Because I'm only one person, and we don't want to take away from other people that would want to talk to me. So they get one phone call. The tentative assessment roll will be filed on May 1st as required by real property tax law. Property owners with assessment concerns after April 23rd must attend grievance day on Tuesday, May 25th. Grievance day will be by appointment only, and we hope to offer in-person and phone appointments so people will have a choice between the two. To receive an appointment on grievance day, the required form, RP 524, must be completed and returned to the assessor's office. Today, the State Office of Real Property Tax Services has reviewed and confirmed the level of assessment for residential, commercial, and vacant in the town of Van Buren to be at 100% of market value for 2021. The benefits of maintaining 100% level of assessment are equity on the roll, stable tax rates, and not requiring an outside contractor to reappraise the town after a significant drop in the town's equalization rate as determined by the state. This results in cost savings for the town and our taxpayers. The town also benefits from updated utility and special franchise values each year. If we didn't do annual reassessment, we would get them every 5 to 6 years. So, this decision is made by the town board and has been in place since the townwide reevaluation by the outside contractor in 2001. The town board should notify the assessor if they wish to discontinue this practice in writing by September 15th. The analysis for next year's assessment roll begins in September, and the state must be notified in writing of the town's intention prior to November 1st. Our final building permit review will be completed over the next 3 weeks with inventory changes entered by tentative roll filing. And the deadline to file exemption applications for 2021 was on Monday, which was March 1st. In December, the governor signed special legislation for 2021 only. This allows senior citizens with the limited income exemption or the limited income disability exemption to carry over from 2020 to 2021 without renewal. This does not apply for new applications or to properties that have had an ownership change. Unfortunately, we had mailed our renewals out the way we normally do in September, And then they changed this in December. So we had to go back and backtrack, but we got everybody on board. A possible change, this is not law yet, but just to give you an idea, possible change to the Enhanced Star Program, exemption program, was included in the 2021 state budget. If passed, it would require new enhanced exemptions to switch to the check program for the additional savings over the basic star. This would apply to property owners with a basic star exemption currently who age or income into the requirements for the enhanced star exemption, and I will keep you posted as that progresses. Questions?
Questions for Teresa?
Teresa, you said we'd be at 93%. So New York State requires a full assessment to be between 95 and 100.
That's correct.
So anything below that has
Anything below
to.
that triggers some kind of reevaluation or the equalization rate drops. And then you lose the benefit of being at 100%.
Could
That
you,
starts impacting rates, tax rates then.
could you explain to people, especially if they're grieving something, I realize they don't always realize what your taxable status date is, like being the previous
Yes.
July 1?
The
It's very
evaluation
confusing.
date for this assessment roll stops with July 1st of 2020. So sales that have occurred from July 1st of 2020 is the time frame for next year's assessment roll. So in effect, we're almost always, not quite a year behind what we're actually doing. The reason for that is it takes us 6 to 8 weeks to get the sales from the county before we even know they exist, and how do you analyze an assessment roll if you don't have the sales data? So I think it was Governor Pataki that long ago that actually changed it. Our valuation date used to be January 1. So it would have been, for this assessment roll, it would have been January 1 of 2021. That makes it impossible. So he saw the wisdom and he moved valuation date for the whole state on a normal assessment calendar to the previous July 1st. Yes?
Seniors who are qualified for the Enhanced Star are going to roll over this year without having to do
Not the
anything?
enhanced star.
Huh?
Not the enhanced star, just the senior citizen limited income exemption.
Okay,
The enhanced star exemption, in 2019, the state took over everything. We put everybody in their database. And now people with the enhanced star don't have to come in every year with their income like they used to have to, because the state is looking at their income tax return and they're following up with the people.
I remember that now.
They can.
Have the income limits changed?
The income limit for the enhanced star currently for 2019 income taxes is $90,550. That is up a little bit from a year ago. The senior citizen limited income exemption, which is the one that got the rollover because of the pandemic, we didn't want the seniors to have to come in and
Right.
take a chance on getting sick. That limit for that's been probably 10 years is a gross income, not taxable, but gross total income of $37,400. That would also be from 2019.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So in paragraph 1, you say that 8 residential neighborhoods were below 95, and then you say 9 residential neighborhoods had a LOA between 95 and 97.
Yep.
Am I to understand that at least 17 neighborhoods in Van Buren are going to be, have their assessments increased?
Yep, they're already done. That's what the state just reviewed since Friday.
How many neighborhoods are in Van Buren?
To give you an idea, I ran a report on Friday. This is subject to change because we're still putting physical increases in. To give you an idea, we have, these are what I'm talking about, residential properties. I ran a report that indicates currently we have 4,256 residential properties in the town of Van Buren. That excludes vacant land and commercial properties. We have a total number of parcels changed. Of those 4,256, we have 3,615 that received a change. We have 637 that did not. Some of these are physical. So we have equalization increases, which means the neighborhood, the trending. We have 2,367 that got an increase because of market changes. We have 40 so far that have physical increases. They added something. Okay? So they mentioned.
So of the 4,000, 3,615 are going to receive an increase?
Yep.
And what was the other number, large number there?
Equalization or market increases, which means the entire neighborhood was done, either by trending or reappraisal, of 2,367. 40 of that 3,615, 40 is for an increase, a physical increase, where they added something. And we have 5 that are actually decreases, 4 equalization and 1 physical. And that's changing. We had to deal with a couple of fires this week, so that number changes a little bit between now and. Okay?
And this is all due to the market being so hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
There's nothing that she can do about that, or anybody else. And Teresa and I were talking today, it's nice when somebody sells their house and they get more than they're asking, but unless you're in the process of selling your own house, all that does to you is raise your assessment.
yeah.
So, that's the long and the short of it.
Unfortunately, it's pretty much the entire town is going to get their assessment raised, and people are not going to be happy about it, especially because they were raised probably the last 3 years. But again, it's the market trend that's happening. Syracuse has a great real estate market. There's nothing you can do.
I will be talking about this tomorrow night in Lysander with Lysander-specific numbers. Their trend, to give you an idea, I didn't put this in here, but the trend for the properties that were between 95 and 97, their trend was plus 3%. The neighborhoods that were reappraised, it's all done individually, and they tend to be our rural neighborhoods and, the village where things aren't always equal as far as properties. Lysander, their trends for 12 neighborhoods in Lysander were plus 6%. And 27 neighborhoods were reappraised on top of the 12. There are almost 7,500 notices in Lysander going out in 2 weeks.
What would their equalization rate been if they don't?
Their equalization rate, their residential ratio or equalization rate would have been 89%.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
how much
Wow.
Lysander up in Warren.
So I appreciate you sharing that data with us, just because we're here in Van Buren and we feel like you're being a bully to us, but to understand, another town, it's not that way, and people really need to understand this is not you, this is the market, this is how the state runs the assessment, and if they have a complaint,
Yes. If they disagree.
they can grieve.
Yeah, if they haven't, if they disagree with the opinion of the value that I've placed on the property, they just need to get their information together.
Right.
And make a phone call, informal, or go to the board of assessment review on
Right.
Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
And it's all as of July 1st last year.
Yes, and I'm still seeing, just so you know, I haven't done any analysis because I've been busy doing appraisals for this year. The sales that are coming in now, which will be part of next year's, are still coming in, and some of them are coming in higher still than the new values that I just put on.
Right,
So,
right.
but I won't know that until we get the full picture.
But you have to do like the whole, well, you call it a neighborhood, like whole section, and everybody would go up based on a
Yes,
couple of
they're all-
sales that
we
were
don't
high.
just- We don't just pick the 5 houses on this street and 5 houses on that street. It's done by the neighborhood grouping, and it's either a reappraisal across the board where we look at similar properties. So if you have a colonial, you look at a colonial. If you have a ranch, you look at a ranch. Or in the case of a trend, those neighborhoods actually went up, everybody went up by a certain percentage, a flat percentage. So you have to, if you don't do it that way, it's what they call selective assessment. and it's actually illegal to do it that way, so.
Right.
Because not everybody's at the same. Questions?
Are we on trend with other towns when you talk to other assessors in the association?
We haven't had a meeting, we've had some small conversations. Because of the pandemic, we haven't had an actual countywide meeting since last February, and we're all kind of in withdrawal at this point. But I have gotten a few phone calls from people, not naming any names, but there are some assessors in the county that think the state's trends, you know, the amount they said prices increase actually is too low, and that we may actually get slammed next year because of that. So, you know, I was thinking 5%, minimally. Lysander came in higher than 5%. Van Buren came in a little bit under 5%, but I wasn't too far off. I had nightmares that Lysander had gone up by 10%, because that's, you know, it was close, so. Yeah, so they're all looking at the same thing.
Okay, thank you.
Teresa, do you have any idea, I don't want to hold you to a specific number, but the number of sales that occurred in Van Buren during that time frame?
For this 1 year time frame?
Yeah,
It's slightly over 100 valid sales. Any more than, you know, relatives, foreclosures, all of that stuff is taken out, but there's approximately, I think, 110 to 120, and that's about average for us in a year's time. So 2 years worth of sales is 2 something, and 3 years worth of sales is 3 something. And we have that, and we have over 250 to 300 a year, and actually in Lysander. So we have almost double the number of sales because they have more properties.
Okay. So people think that it's just one house, it's
No.
just over 100 houses in the whole town?
Yes.
Okay.
And which neighborhoods are they, where they are, where's the assessment, where's the sale price? Yeah.
Because the other thing people are going to say is, well, that's a different house. They've put a lot of money into repairing that and upgrading it. You know, I haven't done anything in the 30 years I've been here, so.
That's facts for an informal, and that's why when we reappraise a neighborhood, we use 5 sales. So that one that's all brand new is gonna be the one on the high end. And the one that's not, the ones that are gonna be on the lower end. And the assessments end up somewhere in between depending on how they compare.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
At all?
Yes.
More questions, Teresa?
Nope, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Teresa. Thanks. Jordan, I think you need to requisition a new tripod. I'll make a call for you if you want me to.
Yeah, the clamps are holding.
Item number 3, consider approval of 2021 senior center intermunicipal agreement authorized by the saying we have a copy of the 2021 agreement before you. In reviewing it, we have found that on the last page, under A3772, line number, that should read 48,100. We have to confirm that with county offices rather than 46,100. And that same number, 48,100, should have applied to 2020 as well. It has not changed for 2021. So the mayor has been notified of that discrepancy. And with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the agreement with that change to 48,100.
Moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? If you remember last year, we held off on making payment for quite a while, and we have the village and the senior center group has successfully got us to a point where everything's acceptable over there now, and we're moving in the right direction. So I'm glad we can get this done in a timely fashion this year, and everybody will be happy.
I'd like to thank the comptrollers from both towns too for the work they did, Greg Maxwell and Dave Rowley. A lot of work to get us to where we are today.
And Ann Custer, the village treasurer, was involved as well. And in the end, we've ended up with a good product.
So,
Yeah, it took a whole team.
Yep, so.
It takes a
with that,
village,
any more
Howard.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item of business is approval and authorizing the execution agreement with Onondaga County Community Development for the Snowdale Drive Phase 2 Drainage Project funding. Entertain a motion to that effect.
Move.
Second.
Nadine has reviewed this. This is a standard boilerplate agreement that the county utilizes for these types of things, and we do these every year, so.
Claude, is that the $50,000 grant or
One-
150?
120.
120.
Yeah.
Total project cost.
Right, I think we have a 30,000 match.
150, yeah, 120. So, with that, we have a motion.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 5 is consider approval for town clerk to virtually attend the New York State Town Clerk Association Annual Conference, April 24th to 26th, for a cost of $125. Any motion to that effect?
Move.
Second? Give a second.
Second, or I don't know which one Lynn has.
Any discussion?
Do both of you get to attend?
Budgeted and approved.
Yes, we do. We can both watch. Don't say anything.
Gotcha.
So we have to pay.
Should have asked that question earlier.
Just happens to be in the same room, huh?
That's right.
And you have to have your continuing education credits as well, so it's required.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor committee reports and comments. Emma,
Nothing at this time.
Darcy,
Nothing tonight.
Wendy.
We had a Parks Committee meeting Monday, March 1st, to reevaluate the playground program and the pool opening due to COVID. As you recall, it was closed last year because of the pandemic. We determined that we wanted to wait a little bit longer before making that decision due to the vaccines being available and hopefully the trend moving toward life getting back to normal. So I want to reschedule, I want to schedule another Parks Committee meeting for April 1st at 2 p.m., at which time we will make a decision if we're going to go forward with opening the pool and the playground program at that time. And we'll bring that back to the board on April 7th for discussion.
Is it?
That is it.
Ron?
No, nothing.
Howard?
Because it wasn't available for PAC-B to record, I'd like to mention the ambulance corps presentation tonight before our meeting. The public should need to know that they provide a very vital service, if they don't know that already. But the needs of the ambulance corps are varied and many, volunteers and donations. So please consider that when you're writing out your charitable checks.
Is it?
That's it.
Pat?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Okay. Doug?
Just two quick things. One's a friendly reminder that while winter is winding down, I don't believe it's over yet. And the seasonal parking ban is still in effect. Please be aware that if the snow's coming, please get them off the road, make it for you. And looking forward to hopefully better weather coming soon. We do get our repairs for plow damage, but we will not do that until the weather is broke and we don't need to worry about plowing again. So be patient with us. Feel free to call in and give us your address, but we will get on and do them as soon as the weather breaks and we get into the better weather. That's it.
Okay, I have a couple things. We were notified that the next round of community development projects paperwork has gone out. If any of the board members have any projects they want to submit, please either get it to Jason or I. Please keep in mind that it's required for low-income areas. And we have, Jason has a map that signifies where those are if you don't know. And we'll be looking, I think it's April 12th is the deadline this year. And we will be coming back to the board with the 5-year plan and all that stuff that we do every year. So the other thing, I want to thank Legislator Bush for introducing the resolution at the county legislature that passed unanimously yesterday regarding retention of the Canton Street Bridge, Thruway Bridge. We We also see that Senator Mannion had an article in the Messenger a week or so ago. So we're appreciative of any help that we can get in keeping that bridge, that vital link that bridge is over there in Warner. So we appreciate that. Citizens' comments. Anyone wishing to address the board? Seeing none. Jason?
Just speak to that community development, we lost an area, but we gained an area.
What'd we lose and gain?
We lost the Fairway Circle area, and we gained the Christopher Fairwood area.
Okay,
We'll switch to the same neighborhood. but
right, yeah.
Different areas.
Do we have some unfinished things that we were hoping to continue?
We've got a 5-year plan. Going forward, we're getting the survey from Lower Knolls, to do some drainage and road improvements down there, as we did in the Upper Knolls over the last 10, 11 years. So those projects may start rolling around, but we do have a 5-year plan.
Everything that do get selected just moves up the
Okay.
ladder. And we find one to fill in.
Perhaps March 17th.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more like, is anything off the list, because we finally were able to get it done?
We gotta be wrapping up Snowdell.
Yes, our Upper Knolls drainage projects are gonna wrap up this year.
Yeah, that's what I
We're
was,
going Edison's.
okay, that's what I was looking for, so that we're finally checked off something completed.
Right.
Can that money also be used for seniors, like for ADA things as
Yep.
well? So if it's not, 'cause I know.
We used our money one year for the Kentwood Senior Center parking lot.
Okay.
Other Lysander, I think, did the roof one year with their money. Village did some interior stuff with their money.
No, I know municipalities, just so if everyone's
Right.
brainstorming on
Right.
ideas, not to
We
think exclusively.
look at what other municipalities submit to, maybe gives us an idea, you know, and try to be creative ourselves, so, you know. Nadine?
I do not have anything. I did take a look at that and just sent it over to you
Right.
today, but
Right.
That solar agreement, that was a little bit more tricky.
Right.
I think the solar proposal is based upon their service, and there's not a lot of concerns, so that should be something that you can farm off hopefully in the near future.
This is the one potentially for the landfill.
Mm-hmm, yeah, good stuff.
Okay, with that, anyone else wishing to bring anything before the board tonight? Ken?
You didn't mention you were interviewed about the bridge.
Well, yes, that was for this week here this afternoon. Doug was also, I don't know if he made the grade. So, yeah, we'd really like to keep the bridge, that's for sure. It's a vital link across there. Many people from Baldwinsville use that to get over the Pinellas area and vice versa, so.
An emergency use.
I take it all the time.
You know.
And it's Assemblyman Magnorelli's town hall last week. That topic was brought up again as well, so thank you, Darcy.
I try.
As far as community development, we've only received one of the larger grant amounts for $120,000. Historically, they've been capped to $50,000, but they changed the rules to allow, if you were one of the towns to cap.
Yeah, well, it's because it is 2 years worth of money. We stopped the bench, so to speak, 1 year, so.
Hypothetically.
So, apply, but, you know,
Right.
understand that because you received the larger amount this past year, you might not be as lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might set the bench again next year, we understand.
And I was pleased that Canton Woods was able to receive the same amount of money that they received last year, because, as you know, our budget was just
Mhm.
decimated. And we were able to keep the tax rate flat as far as any increase for 2021. But, that was, the solar issue is sweeping across upstate New York. And, you know, the state is preempting local zoning in a lot of ways. And they're taking some good farmland out of production
We know.
for these solar, and they're getting tax breaks besides. They're getting real pilots and,
Incentives and everything else.
you know, solar's a way to go. There's trade-offs too, so, I just hope that we don't, be sorry that someday we
Well, we've had discussions with OSIDA, anybody that goes to them for tax break here in Van Buren, we told them we are not giving a pilot out for solar.
And they told the most recent people that come in for Van Buren.
If for our little bit of piece of pie, they can easily afford to pay our town taxes. So, okay, anything else, Ken? Okay, nice to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion to adjourn until March 17th, St. Patrick's Day at 7 p.m.
Moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for coming.